Hi folks, I just wanted to make a quick video talking about the pedals on a piano and what they do. I get a lot of students asking me what each pedal does. Most people are familiar with the sustain pedal, but the other two they're not so sure of, particularly the middle pedal. And actually these functions differ between an acoustic grand piano and an acoustic upright. And fortunately I've got both in here to show you. So yeah, let's talk about the pedals. Okay, so this is my Yamaha G1 baby grand piano, and I've taken off the music stand so that we can actually see what the pedals do. So this piano has 3 pedals, and most serious grand pianos will have 3 pedals. Well, not so much serious, right? That's the wrong thing to say, but rather pianos made, I would say, from the sort of mid-80s onwards, most of them will have the 3 pedals. Now, the one that you'll be most familiar with is the right pedal, and that is simply a sustain pedal. So if we play a chord normally and we let go of it, nothing happens. The sound dies. But if we want that sound to maintain even after we've let go, we play the sustain pedal. And then every other note that we play will also sustain. Okay, now the way that works is it lifts the dampers here. So underneath the dampers, a hammer hits the string. You might be able to see it working there. And when it hits the string, it lifts the damper up. When we let go, the damper comes back down and kills the sound. Now, when we lift the pedal, you'll see, if you can make that out, that all of the dampers lift up. So the strings are free to resonate. Now I want to talk about the left pedal, which is called the Una Corda, and it's best for me to show you what happens on a grand piano when we depress this. If I show you that there's a little gap here at the end of the piano on the far right hand side, when I press the left pedal, all of the keys shift over slightly to the right, and when I let go of it, they go back again. Okay, now the reason for that is, if we take a look inside the piano, you'll notice that each note has 3 strings, and those strings all resonate when a note is struck. So let's play middle C, and you can see the hammer underneath is hitting all 3 strings. Okay? Now then, if we press the Una Corda, it's going to shift all of those hammers, including the keyboard, over to the left. Watch. You can see it move slightly. Now, the effect that has is that when the note is played, it's only hitting the second 2 strings to the right hand side. So only the middle and the far right string are being hit. And that has the effect of just dampening the sound, making it softer. That is the purpose of the Una Corda, just to achieve a greater range of colour and a more kind of soft tone. You can hear it's much softer. That's with it off and with it on. Now, on an upright piano, the Una Corda won't have the same mechanism. It will have the same result, but it doesn't shift all the notes over because the layout inside the instrument is different. Now, before we go to the upright, I want to just talk a little bit about the middle pedal. This is called the sostenuto pedal, and it's probably the least used of the 3. Now, what this does is similar to the sustain pedal on the right-hand side. However, this you can use to select the certain notes that you want to sustain when you don't want others sustained. For example, let me play these 2 E's here. Right, I'm going to play them, hold them, and then I press the middle pedal. If I let go, they continue to sustain. Now, if I want to play some more notes on the piano, they won't be caught up in the sustain. Listen. Now, if I play the 2 notes that I depressed before, again, they will continue to sustain. So that is the function of the sostenuto. Now then, let's take a look at the upright and see how this differs. The right-hand pedal, the sustain pedal, works in much the same way. So we depress it and we have everything sustained. Whoops. sustain there. So if we take a look inside, we'll see a little bit about how that works. I don't know if you can actually see the dampers there, but obviously they're vertical in an upright piano, whereas they are actually horizontal in a grand. And as are the hammers, also vertical. So you can see the hammers here, and underneath you can see the damper see the damper lifting up. Sorry, it's not very clear. Okay, now if we press the sustain pedal, all those dampers come off the keys and allow the strings to resonate freely. Okay, now then, let's take a look at the una corda, which is the left-hand pedal. No, I have to check. Okay, so the mechanism in an upright, most often used, is this. Instead of actually shifting the hammers so they only hit 2 of the 3 strings, because it's not going to be so practical to make that happen in an upright, you can see that actually the una corda just brings the hammers closer. So it doesn't allow as much distance between the hammer and the strings. So inevitably that is going to limit the level of dynamics that you can get. And it does have the effect of softening the sound as well. It's less obvious than on the grand, where you're really getting a very noticeable tonal difference between the 2 and the 3 strings. But this is the solution that upright pianos use to achieve that soft palette. Now, the third and final pedal on an upright is usually a practice pedal. So if we zoom in, you can see that this middle pedal has a little slot to the side, and the idea of this is that you press it down, you hook it over, and what that does is it drops down a little piece of felt. I should really take the front off this so that you can see better. Okay, so I'm not taking this piece off fully, but I've just taken it off a bit so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. So the middle pedal, as I mentioned, it drops this little bit of felt in front of the hammers. So if I take it off, you'll see that comes up, and it allows the hammers to hit the strings without anything in between. The middle pedal is essentially a practice pedal. It makes the piano very soft, so that when the hammers come into contact with the strings, there's an extra piece of felt in the way. And really that's the function of a middle pedal on most acoustic upright pianos. Obviously digital pianos will often mimic the sostenuto effect that you get on a grand, but uprights tend to favour this practice pedal for the middle pedal. And I have to say, it's been very useful for me over the years. It's allowed me to practice at unsociable hours without causing too many headaches for the neighbours. So I'll just give you an example of the sound difference. So when the pedal is off, which it is now, have normal sounding, quite bright. Okay, if we take that practice pedal and put it on, you hear that it's much quieter. So you can see it really takes all the brightness out of the sound, and that is really just the effect of the felt coming in between the strings. So there are the fundamental differences between the pedals on an upright piano and a grand piano. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions about the piano, how it works, and I can do my best to field them for you. Okay, thanks for watching.